Welcome to DVR Club Plus. I'm Josh. This is Alex. We skipped the last couple of weeks talking about The Walking Dead in protest of episodes where nothing happened and we did not learn the fate of Glenn. So it was about 3 weeks ago that we sat in these very spots.
Yes.
And I theorized, and even I thought I was crazy at the time. So he's playing possum. He's underneath this huge crowd. He's gonna lay there covered in Nicholas's blood. And this Nicholas, who he turned around and made a better person, his final sacrifice is to be the blood and guts that's disguising Glenn from the zombies, and Glenn is gonna live. What happened?
Well, I told you were insane.
You did.
Because that's the dumbest possible thing that could have happened. I sat here and said, no way is the show that stupid that they would have Glenn somehow miraculously get out from under that and survive. Whoops. My bad. I was completely wrong. You were 100% right.
Oh, that feels so, it doesn't feel that good, it's fine.
I mean, I went back and watched that DVR Club, and your exact words were, if the show, if he really did die, good on The Walking Dead, and if he didn't die, bad on The Walking Dead, because that would be a terrible choice.
I wonder if they put those spacer episodes in between to lessen the pissed offedness of the average viewer.
I bet they did.
Because the Morgan episode was really good.
It was awesome.
And then there was a couple more that were just kind of not all that much happened.
Standard issue episodes.
Yeah. And then now, like, if they had done it immediately the week after, we would have been like, oh, I really hate you. And now it's just like, fine, just get on with the fucking story.
I mean, I'm still mad, but they definitely sapped some of my anger, like the fact that they made me wait so long at this by now. I've argued this so much, both with you in private and in several major online publications and other areas that that it really upset me. So yeah, at this point, it's just sort of like, yeah, of course Glenn's fucking alive. Of course he did exactly what we brainstormed would be the lamest possible way for him to survive.
And also kind of the only possible way, right?
I mean, I guess, yeah. But it's still, just watching how they did it, like, having the camera pull and be like, see? Like, as though the show was so clever for having, like, twisted it in this particular way. Like, it just felt like it was like, oh, okay, look at this. It's a horde of zombies who aren't doing what zombies have done in every other scenario in which somebody has lain in front of them.
Here's a question for you. If that scene had just been continuous and not been a cliffhanger, it would not have irritated you nearly as much, I don't think. It would have just been like another near miss for Glenn, because he's been, or near hit, thanks to George Carlin. He's survived things that he shouldn't have survived, like being connected to the chair and like killing his eye. Like he's had some really close brushes with death. If it had just gone like, oh, the guy fell on top of him and then immediately he crawls under there and we know that he's okay, it probably would have been better, right?
It would have been much better if they had just, if they'd fallen and immediately as the zombies were tearing into the body right on top of him, as they were, then if he had just straight away gone under, I would have been
That is what happened in real life. But they only showed it to us 3 weeks apart.
In slow motion. Yeah. And after letting Glenn sit there and scream his head off for a while, because that would definitely not attract zombies.
I think that was a little clever what they did with that. Because, let me tell you why.
Okay.
I'm not giving you any credit, Walking Dead, but I just want to tell this to Alex. It looked like he was screaming and there was no audio. The audio was gone. Yeah. And presumably because he couldn't hear anything because of the gunshot.
Yeah.
But then when they showed him moving into the thing, you didn't hear him screaming, you heard him kind of grunting. So it was sort of like, Arr! So maybe it wasn't that loud and he wasn't attracting attention to himself. He was really just straining to pull himself under the dumpster.
That's a noble interpretation. That is. Unlike last time when you floated a crazy theory and turned out to be completely true.
Let's just talk about the rest of this episode, which it was fine.
The rest, that's the thing. The rest of this episode, no complaints.
Yeah.
We got actually some interesting stuff, I thought, with Rick and our latest, do you want to call him another Alexandria redshirt, talking about, actually giving him some back chat about the fact that he needs to start caring about these people or considering them not the sort of us versus them that he keeps getting called out for. Yeah. Because I will say, if you had to pick an MVP moment of this episode, what would it be? Because I think I know what you'll say, but...
Oh, I don't know. What do you think I'm going to say?
I thought you were going to say what was also my personal MVP moment, which was Tara just flicking off. Right?
Oh yeah, that was very funny. I was glad they did. That was very, very clever. So Rick is sort of, very sort of egregiously creating this us versus them mentality, and his whole team is like, it's just us now, cut it out. Yeah. This guy's gonna do something stupid and try to escape, and then you're mad at him or whatever, and it was all fine. You know what I thought was boring, really, what kind of was the whole Glenn Enid thing, and like Lecture Town 200.
Yeah.
Oh, you just cheated death, and now it's like, is he really going to insist that she comes back with him? Like, come on, give me a break.
Like, okay, yeah, definitely waste time while your pregnant wife is waiting to see whether or not you're alive or not with this petulant teenager.
And once she puts a gun in his face,
oh yeah,
like, all right, see you later. Whatever you go, you're on your own. Go eat a turtle. See if I care.
Yeah. Nice turtle callback.
Thank you. I liked it.
Yeah.
But they get back to Alexandria, and we don't see them enter, obviously, but we see that they float the balloons, and isn't that nice? And it's got to be Glenn, because our signal was always green balloons.
Green balloon.
No, was never anyone's signal. Yeah. So Rick learns his shit. Little kid, what's his name, is about to shoot Carl.
Oh yeah.
That's okay. Is that where's that going?
How about another one? Yeah, well that's one that I feel like has gotten telegraphed pretty hard at this point, and God. Only Rick would be stupid enough to not, and Carl would be stupid enough to not see that coming.
I mean, Carl, like every word out of Carl's mouth, like, I'm gonna shoot Carl. He's like, yeah, you're gonna learn because I'm real smart.
Yeah, after every sentence Rick said, he would just try and be like, yeah me too.
But you know what Rick would do in real life? He'd be like, Carl, shut the fuck up. And
you would think so.
Learn this boy, even though he's gonna steal some bullets from the armory and shoot you. Think he's gonna kill Carl?
I mean, at this point, are any of us gonna be surprised and or disappointed if that happens? Don't get me wrong, I was just starting to like Carl more this season.
I don't mind Carl as much, and it seems so outside of rational human behavior that this guy who lives in a world of zombies, and there are literally like 5,000 zombies right outside the gates, that he's like having this petty revenge fantasy because this guy stole his girlfriend, who then left anyway. I
mean, I think it's as much about the fact that this is a way to hurt Rick because Rick killed his dad as anything else. I actually think it's more outside the bounds of rational thought that both Rick and Carl would be this fucking clueless.
Yeah.
Like, if nothing else, that we count on their characters to do plenty wrong, but to at least get right imminent threats and potential danger. And they're not seeing the most obvious one. I mean, come on.
I think it's so obvious that it's not going to happen, or that like the kid is maybe going to turn around, or I don't think it's going to be. It's telegraphed so hard right now that something at least a little unexpected has to happen. Like he falls under a dumpster, and then he stabs a couple zombies, and then he gets out and he's real thirsty. Oh, I forgot to mention. I really wanted to mention this. I think that Glenn's horrible little dust stash was supposed to be like, oh, he's under there for like 3 days.
Yeah, that was my assumption.
Yeah, which is amazing. Like, what a way to like
the dust stash.
The passage of time is like, well, usually you're pretty well clean shaven, even though this is a post-apocalypse. Where's your Mach 3 razor? But oh no, I've been under this dumpster 3 days. I'm really thirsty, and I have a little dust stash.
Like, they're like, let's get makeup in there to really prove that he's been in there for a few days.
I wonder how many different sizes of dust stash they tried before they got the perfect one for like being under there long enough to not die, but long enough to let the zombies get away.
Like the idea that the actor, Stephen Yeun, who plays Glenn, was like, no, guys, we're gonna do this verite style. I'm just gonna take a couple days off shooting, grow it out.
Maybe that's why they had to have 3 weeks in between, so he could grow the perfect bad
That's 3
stash.
weeks worth of.
Well, maybe. This is like a month for me. I don't get that much.
Sure. Yeah.
Me and Stephen Yeun together.
Yeah, you also look like you've been under a dumpster for 3 days.
Well, that's just normal for me. And so then we also had the big, we had the conversation with Morgan, which is fine. Can Morgan kill anybody? Maybe he can, maybe he can't. Blah, blah, blah. And then the doctor's going to help him with his little, his prisoner. That's the word I'm looking for. And then Carol's going to find out. I thought and hoped that Carol was going to like literally walk in behind them and just shoot
kill
the guy.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking was going to happen.
She's a badass.
She is still very much badass.
But all life is precious, apparently.
I mean,
that's hugely telegraphed, but that's gonna get Morgan killed.
I don't know what's right anymore. Because I did want to kill those men. I seen what they did, what they would keep doing. I knew I could end it. But I also know that people can change.
Speaking of things that were just hilariously now in retrospect telegraphed, but at the time I was like, meh, was the the pieces of wood slowly falling off the tower that then at the end of the episode collapses over on
like
the fence.
They didn't hear that thing creaking. They're like busy doing other stuff, but good cliffhanger though. I'll take it.
Oh yeah, I thought it was a fun one because it was such a perfect. It's like a quissential Walking Dead cliffhanger where it's just like, oh shit, something that's going to destroy everyone's life just happened. Yeah. Like, yeah, guess we should deal with it.
I don't think buildings fall that way.
Yeah.
But I don't think people get reanimated as zombies either, so I guess I'll live with it.
And I also, for that matter, don't think that you can survive by screaming under a dead body surrounded by zombies just by pulling yourself in slow motion under a dumpster.
So you'll forgive a house just literally tipping over on its side?
Yeah. I mean, that on the scale of this week's embarrassments, that was the one most passable.
So what's going to happen then? Do the zombies just, the walkers, just take over Alexandria now? Is there no safe place there?
I mean, that's the thing. We had so much time this episode to deal with, Deanna coming up with her big plans for the future, and here's what's going to happen.
Those plans were great. Barley, like that was the plan. Like here's where Barley's going to be. That's not a fucking plan.
That's the expansion pack of Walking Dead.
Sorry, I totally interrupted you.
No, it's fine. Because it is, they're just hitting home all these points about the future, and it's time to start thinking about the future. And right on the heels of Abraham's little spiel last week about time to start thinking about the future. And of course, the whole point of The Walking Dead being you can never really think about the future because a house is going to randomly collapse on your fence.
Right.
Which there's no way, right, that's, again, I should know better at this point than to ever say it. There's no way the show would be that dumb as to do something, but there's no way they're not gonna, it collapsed the fence, right? Like the zombies are going to start streaming.
Are we? I guess my question is: are we done with Alexandria then? I mean, does Daryl's in a truck? Glenn's outside the fence, and are they? Is Daryl's together now with Abraham?
Yeah.
And
exactly.
And what's her name?
Abraham and
too many
Sasha.
characters. Sasha. They have a truck.
They do have a truck.
So they come in, they lift everybody up, they get out.
I mean, my guess is they have to get out of there now, right? There's no way. They're just gonna have to, they're gonna have to actually do the old zip line over the thing, only this time have it not collapse on them.
So you say they have to get out, but Alex, you have been wrong before. Where's my bet that I won?
I told you said I had to buy you a Big Gulp if I was wrong about this, and I said, what kind of Big Gulp do you want? And I said, don't be stupid. You can't drink that much soda.
I didn't say stupid.
You said, don't be naive. You Walking Dead naysayer, or something like that.
I wanted you to be right.
I mean, for the sake of good TV, I think we all wanted me to be right. But I mean, I'm trying to. At this point, I'm just reduced to making, lemonade out of poorly thought out lemons. And I guess I'm happy Glenn's alive because I like watching that character.
He's a good character.
Yeah.
So we don't want that baby to be fatherless.
We don't, and I don't want Maggie to be depressed because nobody wants to see another character moping around the set.
True. All right. Well, I guess we can. Should we wrap it up? Should we be done?
Yeah. Unless you have any hot predictions for where it's going to go from here.
No, I don't.
Not going to leave Alexandria.
No, I do. I think they're going to probably have to leave Alexandria. But although I think next week, which is the half-season finale, I think that my guess would be that whole episode is them trying to defend Alexandria and then eventually just having to give it up.
Is that why you did it? You weren't thinking about it?
No, that's how it works with us. We're stuck with each other, right?
All right, well, I guess that's it for this installment of DVR Club Plus.
Yeah, and in case you missed it, #Glenn is alive.